The last operator that I want to show you is the retry operator. So let's go into the application. So let me put this top operator back, and let's say we want to make this HTTP calls at least a number of times. If it fails, before we can consider it failed. So there's another operator that we can put in here. It's called retry. So we can do, well, before I do that, let me just copy this function, and I'm just gonna go ahead and place it down there and then comment it out. Okay, so you guys can have it for your reference, and I'm not gonna map this anymore, so I'm gonna remove like those operators. And what I want to do here is called retry. Okay, so we're gonna do retry, and that takes how many times we want to retry. So say we want to retry like 3 times. Okay, you don't want to retry like 10 or 20 times. And let's add this in our operator list. Okay, so all of those are coming from the same package, RxJS operator. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna retry this HTTP call 3 times before it fails. So let's say in our URL, let's make this fail. Let me put plus, well, I don't have to do it like that. Let's say I put some zeros in the end. Okay, so this is now the URL is incorrect or invalid. So what this is going to do is it's going to call this API 3 times before it fails, okay? Because that's what we're specifying here. We're going to retry 3 times. After that, we're going to fail. So if we go back here, well, obviously we have no users. Go here. Now I'm going to clear and refresh. You see we have to call 3 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then eventually it fails, okay? And this is the logging for when we get 1 user that the example that we did earlier. But you can see that we got 3 times in addition to the initial call. So there's 1 call. Remember, this is a retry. So we're going to try it again after the first one. So the first one fails, as you can see here. Then the second function runs. Then we get the logging here. And then we get 3 retries, as you can see here. So we tried 3 more times after the initial one. And then it fails for good down there where we're console logging the HTTP error because this is an invalid URL, as you can see here. So the retry is really very important. You can use it in many applications and try the request a couple more times before you actually accept the failure. But just make sure you don't put a high number there, because if you do that, then you're just gonna be flooding the backend, and that can cause some performance issue. So make sure you keep it low. So I would say maybe 2, 3, 4, but not like 20 or something like that, because that's going to be too much for the backend. You're just going to be wasting bandwidth on your network, and it's just going to fail. So usually if something is up the first time, it should work, or the second. If it's something that's really important, then you can go 3, 4 times, but not 10, 20, 15. So just be mindful of that. But that's the retry. It's also very important. There's another one we can use called share replay, and this is used to cache information. But the thing is, when you cache the information, it's cached indefinitely. So, I usually don't like to use it, but that's another one that just came to my mind. It's called share replay. You just put it here and you pass it how many observables it needs to replay. In that case, that would be just 1, because when you make an HTTP request, the observable only emits once, even though the HTTP request body can have a collection of 1 million users or something like that. But it's going to emit once because it's only emitting the HTTP response, which is 1 event. Okay, so just make sure you understand this. So I wanted to prepare you for using these operators, because we're going to jump into error handling, which we're not doing here. And it's really important that you have some basic knowledge of observables and some of the operators that you can use here, passing in the pipe, and call whatever operator that you need to use. So I'll see you guys in the next one.